piece of information that we have right now. Sheikh Hasina has been sentenced to death, and there have been 3 counts of life sentence on 3 charges. Manan Dwivedi, sir, I want to come across back to you. I want to understand what is the next course of action as per your understanding for Sheikh Hasina and those who have been accused and charged by the ICT.
Of Sheikh Mohammed Yunus and the Dhaka denomination. That is, we want to keep Sheikh Hasina in India as long as she wishes to be. And to be very clear and very blatant and blunt about it, I personally feel that India should aim for, like America does, like other countries like Russia do, that we can aim for a reinstatement of Sheikh Hasina in Dhaka, which might be a very difficult task at the present moment. But still, I personally feel that some sort of a rapprochement cannot be done, because India needs, and the Bangladesh too needs to be freed from the disorder, the anarchy, the pandemonium, and the kind of instability, the political vitriol that seems to have taken over Bangladesh. So, as we also see that an unstable neighbor is a cause of concern for India. The kind of anarchy and the kind of shoot at sight orders which are ruling the roost in Pakistan, they seem to be turning their ways into Bangladesh also. And Bangladesh used to be considered as an Indian ally and as a kind of a nation which would just be friendly with India and which would always keep aloft the ideals of liberalism, secularism, and progressivism. But with the entry of the jihadi fundamentalists, especially the ISI and the ISI supported terrorist organizations like Houthi, I personally feel that not much of a difference can be made now, though it is a difficult claim to make, but not much of a difference can be made, differentiation can be made between Houthi or the student forces in ISI, because it is the youth which Pakistan wants to destabilize, which China wants to destabilize in India, and the same seems to be transpiring in Bangladesh also. That's how I would look at it, ma'am.
Sir, how much hold does the ICT have? Are we bound to make sure that its verdict is, it is implemented by India? Because Sheikh Hasina is in India currently in exile. The extradition meeting was, in fact, the extradition request was not fulfilled when it was asked for. How do you see this going forward from the side of India?
As far as the international law is concerned, I personally feel that even if we take the example of the International Court of Justice, nothing is binding on India. As you know, several dictates have been issued on China as far as the South China Sea conflict is concerned, and as far as the Vietnamese challenge, as they challenged the Chinese around 5 to 6 years back. So, the international law is all about being in the books. It is all about being part of the verbal and written narrative. But when it comes to the actual implementation of international law and democracy and demos, then it is the ground reality. What transpires at the grassroots level, which is more important. So India too, if Prime Minister Narendra Modi wants to open up a second front, apart from POK and Operation Sindoor, then maybe some sort of an Indian intervention can be initiated, but I doubt it whether we might be ready for a military intervention. And I personally feel that it's a kangaroo court kind of a system, which I would attribute to Dhaka. Right. No legitimacy of judges and no legitimacy of political mandarins and bureaucracy exists now. As long
Absolutely,
as
sir.
Sheikh
I'll come
Hasina
back
was
to
there.
you. I'm also joined on the broadcast by Sumit Peer, political commentator. Thank you, sir, for joining us on this broadcast. We appreciate your time. We want to understand how we are looking at this Sheikh Hasina verdict. Death sentence awarded to her, life sentence on 3 other counts. How are we looking at this? Bangladesh is on the edge, sir.
What we are seeing is on the expected lines. I remember a couple of days back, there were those 11 low-intensity blasts in Dhaka, where crude bombs were used, and the message was sent to the tribunal by Yunus and his terrorists, I will call them terrorists, to give a verdict in like this, because they want to eradicate Hasina politically, physically, and, practically. Now, it is oxymoronic that, how a group of people can hit the streets, and when the things go other way, they can topple a government, they hit the streets, they topple a government, and when the government gets toppled, then eventually they come and say that, let's go to a tribunal, and tribunal awards them, and awards Sheikh Hasina the death sentence. It is all a ploy. It's like a screenplay which was written, which was on the expected lines. Now, if let's say, for example, if 2,000 students hit streets any part of the world, so should elected governments be gone? Then why do we have elections? Why do we have democracy? Why do we have democracy? Why do we have voting? Then let's resort to democracy. Whoever can get as many people on the ground, he is the next leader, and as long as he can hold the crowds. That is, it's apathy. And Bangladesh is going into a Sharia state. These courts and all do not matter. It's just Yunus is the biggest jihadi and Islamist the Bangladesh has seen. He is more dreaded than this, Jamatis and all. He doesn't only have a beard and a mustache. That's all what he has. Now, we have seen how Bangladesh was kind of brought into this state, how they are eradicating and trying to eliminate the democratically elected leaders by trying to put everything on their sting. How can a group of students in any part of the world determine what the mandate of the Janta or what the mandate of the people is? For example, in our country, we have around 60 crore people who vote to 70 crore. If tomorrow 7,000 students hit the road, so what do? Then what is the point of having the 70 crore vote? Now, this is all, who are behind it. It was America, then it was a joint venture between America, Chinese intelligence, there was ISI there, Deep State had a role in that, and it's all an manifestation of what has folded. This is very unfortunate. This is apathy of justice and democracy. This should have never happened, and this gives you one more impression in Islamic countries. There is nothing called courts, there is nothing called justice. They're all mullah and kangaroo courts. They're all courts which will exactly toe the Islamist line. And that's why I say even in the Islamic world, there are two kinds of treaties or agreements. One is a normal agreement and one is a wartime agreement. And as per Islam, the normal agreements can be just rubbish at the time of war. They are exactly in a war-like situation now. The situation unfolding is not good for us because they will try to put pressure on India to extradite Hasina, which we cannot and which we will not. So eventually, these people have to back out, and the things can deteriorate a bit. And anyway, it is not a question of us handling Hasina or not, because Bangladesh has become an epicenter of Islamist jihad. You have Middle Eastern terrorist organizations there. You have ISIS Khorasan there. You have Chinese intelligence. You have American intelligence, and you have ISI running a cocktail there. You have all kinds of Jamatis, Hifazat Islam, and these Hizbul Tahrir. All name anybody. Everybody is there. And remember Mullah Muni talking to you that the next attack will come from Bangladesh. Hafiz Sayyid indicating next attack will come from Bangladesh. So we have, in a way, we have nothing to lose, but we have to protect our friends and their freedom, what we are doing. And India is rightfully doing what it has to do with Ms. Sheikh Hasina. She continues she's like a sister to us. And it is our duty to protect her to the last breath, and that India will do. Let these jihadis, mullahs and maulanas think whatever they are. We all know what they are. We know what all this Yunus is. We know whose puppet he is. Beyond that, there is nothing more to kind of say. We were expecting this, and that is why those 11 crude bombs were hurled a couple of days back when nobody was hurt and nobody claimed the responsibility. It was to send a message. Look, if you don't give the verdict this way, we'll burn down the whole of Bangladesh. Now, it is turning into another Afghanistan. Look, Bangladesh will not become Pakistan. It will straightway go into Afghanistan. If you look at the amount of Islamic radicalization that has happened there, it is beyond control. Still in Pakistan, army can control things. Bangladesh will reach a stage where nobody can control anything. That is what my take on this is. And India has to stand firm, Shivani. We don't have to give it. And we are a country wherein Jaan jaye par vachan na jaye. That is what Bhagwan Sri Ramchandra has taught us. And we'll stand by those ideas. Let there be no doubt on that, and let these jihadis know it loud and clear. These Sharia courts can claim and say anything, but it doesn't matter to India and Indian way of thinking and doing things. And push comes to shove, if they have too much ambitions, we can dismantle Bangladesh once again, and let there be no doubt about that.
Absolutely, sir. In fact, in some more breaking news coming in, former PM Sheikh Hasina has